Not long after Jesus returned to heaven, the early church was growing quickly. More and more people were choosing to follow Jesus, and this made some leaders very angry. One of those leaders was King Herod. He wanted to stop the spread of the gospel and please the people who opposed the followers of Jesus. So, Herod began arresting believers. First, he had James, one of Jesus' disciples, put to death. When he saw that this made the crowd happy, Herod arrested Peter, another close follower of Jesus. Peter was placed in prison, guarded by many soldiers, and chained between them. Herod planned to bring Peter out for trial after the Passover, and likely have him killed too. But while Peter sat in prison, the church was not silent. All across the city, believers gathered together and prayed earnestly to God for Peter. The night before Peter was to be put on trial, he was sleeping in his prison cell. Chains held his wrists, and soldiers stood guard on every side. There seemed to be no way out. But suddenly, something amazing happened. A bright light filled the cell, and an angel of the Lord appeared beside Peter. The angel gently tapped him and said, "Quick! Get up!" At once, the chains fell off Peter's wrists. The angel continued, "Put on your clothes and sandals. Wrap your cloak around you and follow me." Peter obeyed, still half asleep, wondering if this was a dream. The angel led him past one guard, then another, and then they came to a large iron gate leading to the city. On its own, the gate opened. They walked through the streets, and suddenly, the angel disappeared. That's when Peter realized, this was real. God had rescued him. Peter went straight to the house of Mary, where many believers were gathered and praying. He knocked on the door, and a servant girl named Rhoda came to answer. When she recognized Peter's voice, she was so excited that she ran back inside without opening the door, shouting, "Peter is here." At first, no one believed her. But Peter kept knocking. When they finally opened the door and saw him standing there, they were amazed. God had answered their prayers. Peter shared how the Lord had brought him safely out of prison. The believers rejoiced, praising God for his power and faithfulness. Meanwhile, King Herod was left confused and frustrated. He had tried to stop God's work, but God's plan could not be stopped. This story reminds us of something powerful. No prison is too strong. No problem is too big. And no situation is beyond God's control. When Peter was trapped, the church prayed. When everything seemed hopeless, God made a way. And today, just like then, God still hears the prayers of his people. When we feel afraid, when we feel stuck, when we don't see a way forward, we can trust that God is still working, even when we can't see it. Because the same God who opened prison doors for Peter is still opening doors today. God is powerful, faithful, and always near. Never stop praying because God is always listening.